Yes, what was the topic we discussed yesterday? Just you can write it in the chat box. Then I'll just simply revise that. Then we'll proceed with the today's session. Yes, just I'm waiting for your reply. Can you just write it in the chat box? Please don't unmute your mic, just write it in the chat box. So, what was the topic we discussed yesterday? Yes, yesterday I think, Lokesh, you were there, Avinash, you were there. Koteshwar Rao, I think you are first time today. You can just go through our recordings of yesterday's session and day before yesterday's session. So whatever we discussed day before yesterday I revised it. So yesterday we have discussed what? Yes, you have given the answer. Very nice. So yesterday we have discussed about the like what is Linux. Linux is an open source operating system. So here it is open source means the source code of the Linux kernel which has been designed by the yes it has been designed by the Linus Torvald. So so we discussed that the Linux kernel which is designed by the Linus Torvald is freely available on the internet. The complete source code, whatever coding or the program he has written, the complete source code of the Linux kernel is freely available over the internet, which anybody can access. Not only we can access, but we can also change it or modify it, or we can add certain things, certain programs we can add, certain new things. So then we can have our own OS. We can have our own OS with our own logo. So this is what I told you yesterday. So Linux is an open source operating system. So where the source code of the Linux kernel, which is can be accessed by anybody from the internet and can add some features to develop a new OS. That is the reason there are so many flavors in Linux. So yesterday we discussed that it is not humanly possible to learn all the flavors. Like Ubuntu is there, Turbo Linux is there, Backtrack is there, CentOS is there, Red Hat is there, Debian is there, SUSE is there. So many are there, Oracle Enterprise Linux. So out of that, we are concentrating on Red Hat. So we are going to discuss Red Hat through the CentOS because both are exactly same. And what is the difference I told you, CentOS and Red Hat? In CentOS, it is completely free but no support. In Red Hat, they are charging for providing the support. Then, but everything is same here in all the flavors, the structure, the concept, the configuration file. Only some administrative command. Sometime it might be same, sometime it will be different. So how we can survive? Just once we know one command for one particular task in one mode or one flavor, we can just simply Google it to get it equivalent command in other flavor in which you are working. Okay. So then we yesterday went through this. The Linux is most commonly used. The Linux is most commonly used in in the servers because it is more secure. So why it is secure? We discussed that in the structure of the Linux OS. So every operating system will have the kernel, but in addition to the kernel, Linux have what? The shell. So we discuss what is the shell. So it is like a command checker. So whenever a command is given, who is given this command? The administrator or normal user, it will identify. After that, that command is predefined in that OS or not. So if it is predefined, it will execute. If it is unknown command, it will not execute. Then the shell is once it is found, the command is to be executable, or it is in the predefined programs, then it will go to the kernel. Then kernel, which is called the brain of the operating system. So the machine understand machine language only. So as a user, when we give the command as input, it will be in high level language. So it will convert into low level language. Then it will go, then the kernel will decide this particular task should be done by which particular hardware and software of the machine. Like in our body, brain does controlling and managing. Exactly same thing will be done by the Linux kernel. So once the output is ready, it will give back to the shell, then shell will show it. So here in Linux, the files are identified with the symbols and alphabet. Yesterday we discussed that. And permission also will be the default with no execute permission. So that is the reason most of the servers are working on Linux. And Linux is a foundation core for other advanced courses or higher courses like AWS, DevOps, VM, VMware, admin, Oracle database, Hadoop, SAP. Then we discussed yesterday. I've given you the all the overview detail. What are the topics we are going to cover in this course? Yes. So this is what we have discussed in yesterday's session. So now coming to today's session. So for most of the people, this Linux might be a new operating system. Yes. So before we install it and work on that, we should know the structure of the Linux operating system. So the overall structure of the Linux operating system is it contains first layer. The complete Linux operating system is divided, or every operating system is a collection of programs. So in Linux, that collection of program is logically divided into two layers. First layer is shell, the other is kernel. So how this shell and kernel, when we are using, where exactly the data will be stored, what data will be stored where. So before we start working on the Linux, we should know the Linux file system structure, where exactly what data will be stored. So once we understand that, then we can able to operate or work on the Linux operating system. So what is the topic we are going to discuss in today's session? The structure of the Linux operating system. So before I proceed with the Linux operating system structure, file system, I mean file system structure. So once we are aware about the operating system file system structure means the every operating system have their own file system structure. So once we are clear about the file system structure, we can know where exactly which type of data will be stored. So once we know that, it will be easier to work on that operating system, and we can able to understand exactly where what type of data will be stored. Then we can work on that. So most of us familiar with what Windows operating system. So before I go to the Linux structure of the file system, structure of the Linux operating system, we'll see the file system structure of the Windows OS, where exactly what will be stored. So just overview of the Windows OS, but our main focus will be on the Linux. So before I proceed with the Linux, we'll see we'll see the overall file system structure of the Windows operating system first, because we are more familiar with the Windows. Then we will see the Linux structure. So this is the file system structure of the Windows operating system. Windows operating system file system. File system gives you the idea where exactly what data will be stored. So Windows operating system file system structure. So suppose this is the machine in which we have installed the Windows OS. Suppose this is the machine in which we have installed the Windows operating system. So where exactly the Windows OS will get installed? On the hard disk. On the hard disk, in which drive? So in Windows, our partitions will be accessed with the help of the drive letter. So when we install the Windows OS, where exactly in the hard disk this OS will be get installed? On the C drive. Now the Windows operating system will be stored in the C drive. So this C drive contain many folders. Many folder. Drive is a collection of folders. So now one of the folder is Windows folder. So in this Windows folder, it contain many subfolder which contain the detail about the operating system. Like one of the important subfolder is System32. system32. Then we have inside this drivers. Then inside this you will have the log files, the temporary files. So in Windows folder, these are the some of the important folders. Then same way, another important folder is program file. Another important folder is program files. So these program files contain all installed applications. So in Windows, all the applications will be there in the form of .exe. So in Windows, all the application will be there in which format? .exe. So whenever we install any .exe application where it will be stored in the Windows operating system, so it will be stored in program file. So program file contain all installed application. So whenever we install any application, where it will be stored in Windows, in program files. So same way when we installed, when we log in as a user, and we create any files and folder where it will be stored users data. So users data will be stored in the users folder. So previously in Windows operating system in old version, we used to have a folder with the name document and setting, but now it has been replaced with the name users. So users contain one important subfolder. Users contain one important subfolder with the name called administrator. So in the Windows, the administrator is the super user. So whenever administrator creates any files and folder, so administrator created files and folder or administrator created data will be stored where? In administrator folder under the users. But say suppose we have created some users. Suppose I created one user, normal user, user 1, user 2. So how many users you have created? That many subfolders will be created with the username. All these users subfolder will be present where? In users folder. So under user folder, all normal users folder will be created with their name. Suppose u1 user is created, so u1 user created data will be stored in the u1 folder. U2 user data will be stored in u2 folder. U3 user data will be stored in u3 folder. So this is the overall structure of the Windows operating system. So most of the uh, people who are working like a client or customer or the normal user, they prefer to use Windows operating system. So they prefer to use Windows operating system. For that, two main reason it is having the graphical interface, and it is easy to operate. Why it is easy to operate? Everything is there on a single drive. So that is the advantage. But with this advantage, there is one disadvantage. So in Windows, one disadvantage is there. That's why some of the companies prefer to use, or most of the companies prefer to use their servers on the Linux operating system, because in this the advantage is it is easy to operate. The overall structure is easy to understand, and it it is easy to operate. But disadvantage in this structure is, suppose if one of the folder got corrupted with some virus or some other issue, so this folder is present where users. So this folder will ultimately affect where? Users folder. So now mostly the operating system will get affected or get corrupted through the users folder, because users will be doing their work. So some unknown files and some virus file they have downloaded means it will affect this folder. Ultimately this folder belong to where? Users. So if the user folder get affected, so this folder is present in which partition? In C drive. So ultimately what will happen? The C drive will get affected. So once the C drive get affected, all the folders will get affected and entire operating system will get affected. So this is one of the issue in the Windows. So in Windows, if one of the OS folder get corrupted due to any reason, it will affect the complete operating system, because the Windows operating system is installed on a single drive. So if one of the OS folder in the Windows get corrupted, it will ultimately affect the complete OS. So this is a disadvantage in the Windows operating system structure, because everything is installed on a single drive, so which makes operating it's easier and simple. But with that comes the disadvantage. What is the disadvantage? In Windows, if one of the OS folder get corrupted, it will ultimately affect the complete OS. So this problem we don't have in the Linux. So that is the reason most of the servers in the world today are working on Linux. Now we will focus on the Linux operating system file system structure. So now when we install the Linux operating system instead of the Windows, where exactly what data will be stored? So that is what we are going to discuss in today's session. Linux operating system file system structure. Linux operating system structure we will be going to discuss now. Okay, so now let's see the overall structure of the Linux operating system. So before we install this, if you get the idea about that, then it will be easier to do the installation, as well as it will be easier to work on the Linux operating system. So this is very important concept. Please concentrate, all of you. Now let us see the overall structure. So first thing you have to remember is that in Linux, in Linux, in Linux, there is no drive letter concept. So if somebody asks you to just to make you confused, if you are attending the interview, so first question, suppose somebody put it like this: in which drive the OS will get installed in Linux? Or suppose they'll ask you, if I install the Windows OS, it will get installed on C drive. So same way in my machine, if I install the Linux OS, where exactly it will get installed? So most of the people will say some drive name, but that is not the correct answer, because there is no drive. Drive is a collection of folder. So in Linux, we will not have any drive. So the Linux OS will get installed on the directory. There will be one main directory. On that, the OS will be get installed. So please remember, in Linux there is no drive letter. The OS will get installed. Linux OS, when we install, it will get installed on the directory. Which directory? We will see that. So just I'll give you some basic information. After that, we'll proceed to the structure of the Linux. So file system means what? File system is used to control how the data, or where exactly the data is stored and retrieved. So suppose if you don't know the file system, it is something like a big storage is there, and there what thing where it is kept, if you don't know, means always you have to search. So instead of that, to organize the Linux operating system, the vendors or the creators, what they have done, they have designed one structure. So all the Linux operating system structure will be same. So now for that we should know the file system, where exactly what type of data is been kept. So that is been understand with the help of the file. So the collection of file is called as what? Directory. So in Windows you have drive letter folders, but here the main OS will be installed on the directory. So in each one particular location, one data will be stored. That is called file. So the collection of file is called as what? File system. Collection of data, where exactly which data will be stored where. So that we are going to learn under the. So each structure consists of what? File. That file is put into the collection of files. That is called directory. So this collection of directories are put into a tree. So the Linux will follow the operating system structure in the form of a tree. Tree means one main folder will be there. Inside the one main folder, there will be many subfolder. So Linux uses the tree structure to manage the Linux operating system is installed or uses the tree structure. So you can see here Linux uses the tree structure to manage the directories and files. So there is no drive letter here as per the Linux installation is concerned. So the complete, when we install the Linux operating system, the Linux operating system will be using the tree structure. So the complete directory tree structure we will be going to discuss now. So the tree information. the tree. So the tree contain the Linux complete. The tree contain the complete Linux operating system is information where exactly what will be stored. So in which tree or in which directory the Linux OS will be installed. So the Windows OS is installed on C drive, whereas the Linux OS is installed on which directory? The directory is called slash directory. The directory is called as the slash directory. So that will be in the form of a tree. So this is the main directory of the Linux operating system, that is called forward slash, and the name of that forward slash is called root. It is called root directory. So this root directory contain, or you can call this as a root file system. So in that it will contain main one directory. It contain one main directory. So this slash is called root directory, and this root directory contain the Linux operating system in the form of many subdirectories. So so the Linux OS will be, whenever we install the Linux OS, where exactly the Linux OS will be installed. So this file I'll be sending you before the end of this course. Whatever data I have, I'll be sending to your mail ID. So you don't worry about this. Whatever I am telling you, like whatever I've shown you yesterday, day before yesterday, and today, all these files, complete thing will be giving to you. So you don't have to worry about it. Complete information, whatever I am having related with this course, I'll be sending you. And for doing this practical, a separate file I have made it, notepad file. In that every practical step is written with the heading. So that file also I'll be sending you before the end of the course, because what I have found that once I'm sending in the middle, some student, even though after making the payment, they are not attending regular sessions. So I don't want you to misuse your amount. So what I'll be doing, I'll be definitely sending you this file along with the practical step file, but after few days. Okay, because so with that file you can do the practical very easily, as well as with this data whatever we are going to discuss, along with some extra information, I'll be sending you two files. Okay, so you please remember this thing, and you don't worry about this data. Whatever data I'm having related to the Linux administration course, I'll be sending you two files. One related with the theories which we are discussing, and the other one is the practical soft copy, which I made it in the form of a notepad. So that I'll be sending you, not immediately, but I will take few days. Those who are attending the course regularly, after few days, I'll be sending you in the middle of the course, not at the beginning, so that you will not skip the sessions. Okay, so now we will discuss that. Are you getting the idea? So when you install the Windows OS, where the OS will get installed? On the C drive. Whereas when we install the Linux OS, where it will get installed? On the directory. Which directory? It follows the tree structure. Tree structure means one main directory will be there, and this main directory contain many subdirectories. So what is that main directory here is called? Root directory, which is represented with the slash. So here slash is called the root directory, which contain the Linux operating system in the form of many subdirectories. So these are the overall subdirectories which will be created when we install the Linux OS. So many subdirectories will be created, many more compared to the Windows, and each subdirectory contains some specific information. What type of information will be stored in each and every subdirectory we will be discussing in detail in today's session, complete detail. So before that, so here whichever directory is important to us, that we can make separate partition while doing the installation. So you remember whichever subdirectory is important as per our type of server, for storage, for user based, or you can say, if you're configuring your server as a user database server, separate uh, folders you will make as a partition for the OS installation. If you are making your database server, separate partitions, separate partitions you will be using for the installation. If you are using the syslog server, separate. So we will be installing the Linux OS in multiple partition. So whichever subdirectory is important to us, based on our which type of server we are making or configuring, then that type of that particular directory will be making as a separate partition while doing the installation. So remember, the OS installation of the Windows will be done on single partition, whereas the OS installation of the Linux will be done on multiple partition while installing the OS. So like in Windows, what you will do, your OS will be on C drive. So you will not keep your important data on C drive. You will create some separate partition like D, E, and you will keep your important data on the other drives like D drive, E drive. So same way, we will install the Linux OS on multiple partitions so that if one of the OS folder get corrupted due to any reason in Linux, it will not affect the complete OS. It will affect only that particular partition to which that folder is affected belong. So the complete OS will not get the affected. And also we will install this OS on multiple partitions. So the once one folder get affected, it will not affect the complete OS, and other partition will have the important data remaining intact. So that is the reason the Linux OS is more stable and more secure. That is the one of the prime example for companies preferring to use the Linux operating system or Linux servers in their companies. Okay. Now we will see all these subdirectories. So now you have to see the structure. So to make it simple and easier, so you can see this structure. So this is the overall structure of the Linux operating system. So whenever we install the Linux operating system, the Linux OS will get installed on slash, which is called root directory. This is the main directory. This structure is called tree structure. In that, while installing the OS, many subdirectories will be created. So according to which type of server you want to make, that separate subdirectory will be made one separate partition according to our requirement, which we cannot do in Windows. So here we'll first concentrate on this structure. So whenever we install the Linux OS, one main directory will be created. What is that main directory? Or where exactly the Linux OS will install? Like in Windows, C drive, the OS will get installed on C drive, but in Linux there is no drive, here directory. So the Linux OS will get installed on slash directory, which is called root directory. Then this root directory contain many subdirectories, like these are all the subdirectories of the slash. So when we are reading this subdirectory, we have to say slash before their name. So one of the subdirectories is slash bin. One of them is all this will get created, whichever is important to us based on which type of server we are configuring. We need to we need to we need to create a separate partition for this subfolder. Like if you are creating user database server, slash home is important. Okay. So we need to understand this all. What is slash bin? What is slash proc? What is slash boot? What is slash root? What is slash dev? What is slash bin? Slash etc slash srb slash home slash sys slash lib slash temporary slash media slash usr slash mnt slash var slash opt. Again, inside this main folder or main subfolder, still subfolders will be there. So this is our subfolders, like slash usr is a subfolder of the slash. Inside this slash usr, again subfolders will be there. are, are these files. The subfolders contain what? The files. So now these are some of the files. Then usr contain what? Like subfolders. So when what is usr, we'll be discussing in detail. Then slash var contain these things. Inside the subdirectory, then again it contains some other important things. So this is the overall structure. So we'll discuss one by one all these subfolders. First, main folder. So what is the main folder here? Slash. So what the slash is called here? Root directory. What it contain? Linux operating system in the form of this subfolders. So this all subfolders will get created automatically when we install the Linux operating system. So each and every subfolder contain some specific information. So now we will discuss in detail which subfolder which subfolder contain what type of detail. Okay, are you following up to this? Are you following everybody up to this? Okay, so now we will continue our discussion. So now we'll try to understand in which subdirectory what information will be stored. In which directory what sub information will be stored. Let us discuss now. So here the most important thing is the slash. So slash contain what? Linux OS. Then it contain many subfolders. So what each subfolder contain we will discuss now. So the most important folder or the directory as per the Linux operating system is slash, which is called root directory. Then this root directory contain many important folder. So one of the important subfolder is okay. One of the most important subfolder is we will discuss now. Okay, now we will concentrate on the first important thing. Then I'll go to with the overall. So here, as for the Linux, you should be very clear about these three things. Once you are clear with these three things, you can able to understand the overall structure of the Linux easily. So first you should know about what is slash. So here slash is called root directory. Here slash is called root directory. What this root directory contain? What this root directory contain? It contain Linux operating system. Like in the C drive, the OS will be there. Slash contain. So slash contain what? Linux OS. Like C drive contain like so yes, slash contain. First of all, you should know the name. So slash is called here what? Root directory. What it contain? Linux operating system in the form of many subdirectory. So when we install the Windows OS, where it will be stored? Windows OS, where it will be stored? On C drive. So equivalent to C drive, you have what? Slash. Then next important thing you have to remember. So slash is called root directory. But whenever we use the word root, so who is root here? So please be clear. Who is root here? The administrator name in Linux and Unix is called as a root. When we are saying slash, it is a root directory. Or when we are saying root directory, it means the slash directory. But when somebody use the word only root, here you have to be very clear. Here root means what? Root means what? Root is a user. Which user? It is a super user. So the administrator name in Linux and Unix is called as administrator. So who is root? Who is root here? Administrator. Administrator is a user. So whenever we call only root, so root is a user. Which user? Administrator user in Unix and Linux. In Linux and Unix, the administrator is called with the name root. That name you cannot change. So whenever anybody uses the word root, it means we are talking about the user. Which user? Root user. Who is root user? It is administrator user account. So administrator user account here is called root. Are you clear? This is very important. You should be clear about this. Slash is a root directory, whereas when we say only root, it is a we are talking about a user. Which user account? Administrator user account. Then the slash contains slash root. Slash is a root directory, but slash root is called the home directory. Slash root is called the home directory. So slash is contain Linux OS. So slash root is called the home directory of root user. So whenever root user login, in which directory the root user will log in? So on slash root. So slash root is called the home directory of root user. So the slash root contain root user created. So slash root contain root root user administrator user created root user created files and directory. So whenever root user login, in which location it will log in? To the slash root. So slash root contain root user created files and directory. So as a administrator, as a root, whenever you create any files and directories, where exactly it will be stored? If somebody asks, your answer should be slash root. So slash root contain root user created files and directory. So whenever as a root user you have logged in and created some files and directory, where it will be stored? In slash root. So in Windows it is under the C drive users folder. Under that subfolder is there with the name administrator. So in Windows the administrator name is administrator. So the administrator created data will be stored where? In administrator folder under the users. Whereas in Linux the administrator name is root. So root created data will be stored in slash root. Next important thing, slash home. So slash home is the home directory of all users. So for administrator there is a separate directory that is called slash root. So administrator data will be stored in slash root, whereas rest of the user home directory is slash home. So slash home is the home directory of all users except root. All users home directory except root user, all user home directories except root user, all user home directory slash home. So when you log in with any other user other than the root user, if you log in, then that user will be logged into the slash home. So slash home is the home directory of all user except root. So whenever any user when any user creates when any user creates any files when any user creates any files and directory, where exactly this users data will be stored? Where all the users data, where it will be stored? In slash home. So when any user creates the files and directory, the user created data, all users data will be stored all users data will be stored in all users data in the form of files and directories will be stored in slash home. So please remember, administrator created data will be stored in slash root, and rest of the users data will be stored in slash home. Like I'm the user one, so user one created data will be stored in slash home. So like in Windows, for each and every user one subfolder will be created in users. So same way for each and every user subfolder will be created with their name in the slash home. So users one data will be stored in slash home user one. Suppose you are the user two, so user two data will be stored in user 2 data will be stored in slash home with your name. Suppose I'm the username is Sunil. So my Sunil created data will be stored where? In slash home. My folder will be there with name Sunil. So my data, Sunil created data will be stored in Sunil folder. Suppose you are the Avinash. So you are also normal user. So you are also normal user. So in the slash home one folder will be created once the user is created with the name Avinash. One folder will be created in slash home with the Avinash. So Avinash created data will be stored in Avinash folder. Suppose you are the Lokesh user, so Lokesh user created data will be stored in slash home under the folder name Avinash and Lokesh. Like that, for each and every user one subfolder will be created with their name. So are you following? These are the main important things. So once you are understand with these things, you can easily understand the rest of the
So can
things.
you please repeat
Another
root
important
and home again?
another important folder, another important subfolder is slash boot. So another important folder is slash boot. So slash boot is very important because this slash boot directory, which is called boot directory, slash boot directory contain contain what? Linux kernel. The most important part of the Linux operating system is Linux kernel. So if somebody asks you where the Linux kernel will be present when we install the Linux OS, it will be present in the slash boot. So slash boot contain Linux kernel. Along with the Linux kernel, it contain the bootloader, which is called grub, which is called here grub. Grub means what? It is called, full form of the grub is grand. GR means grand. U means unified. B means bootloader. So simply it is called as grub. Grub full form is grand unified bootloader. Grand unified bootloader, or simply you can say bootloader. So these are the three important things: Linux kernel, bootloader, which is called grub, and the Linux bootable file through which the OS will load bootable files with the name initrd. Bootable file name is initrd. So these bootable files, bootloader and Linux kernel will be present in the slash boot directory. So what is the role or function of the slash boot directory? Whenever we install the Linux OS and when we switch on the machine, you will get the login screen. So what will happen? You will not get the immediate login screen. You will get some seconds, because in the background what will happen? Booting process will take place. So we have one complete session. In that we will be discussing the booting process. So today we just remember slash boot directory role is what? It will load the OS. Booting process. Booting means loading of the OS. So booting process we'll be discussing in detail in coming days session. So whenever we install the Linux kernel will be stored in slash boot directory, and the Linux kernel contain bootloader through which it will start the booting process, and booting is done through the bootable file with the help of the Linux kernel. So the complete loading of the OS from the hard disk to RAM, loading of the Linux operating system from hard disk, that is secondary storage device, hard disk, how it will take place, that will be discussing in booting process, to the RAM will be taken place through the boot directory. So slash boot directory, which is called boot directory, contain Linux kernel, bootloader and bootable file. Through this it will load the OS from hard disk to RAM. Suppose this folder is get corrupted. Suppose this will be asked normally in the interviews. If my boot folder get corrupted, how I can know it, and what is the uh, message, or what is the screen it will show when the boot directory get corrupted? What happens? How it will be shown? So here you can see, when you switch on the machine, if the boot folder get corrupted, you will get black screen, and on the black screen on the monitor you will see grub greater than, left side of the screen it will be showing grub greater than. It means your OS is there in the hard disk, but your boot folder got corrupted. That's why you will not get the login screen and you cannot able to log in. So what is the solution for that? You need to insert the OS bootable DVD. Nowadays nobody is using the bootable DVD, so you need to insert the your bootable pen drive. You have to make your pen drive bootable using some application like Rufus. Then you have to insert your bootable pen drive. In Windows you have what? Safe mode. In Linux you have rescue mode. You have to go to the rescue mode and reinstall, not OS, just the boot folder. Then the complete OS will get, oh sorry, that boot folder you can just reinstall. Then no need to reinstall the OS, just reinstall the grub folder. Then again, once the grub folder gets working, or boot directory is working, then the OS will be loaded from the hard disk to the RAM. So just to give me a minute, my battery got low, I'm connecting the bat. Okay, So these are the most important directories. I'm not saying the other directories are not important, but these are the most important. So that's why we discuss here separately. Now in the file which I'm going to send you after a few days, not immediately, after few days, then in that file everything is written. So now we'll discuss one by one. These are the main things which I have given you the description. So here slash boot contain bootable file, Linux kernel and bootloader through which it will do the booting process. Slash bin, it contain, this folder contain what? The commands, list of commands which can be executed by any user. Normal user also can use that command. Then slash dev contain hardware devices information. Suppose you want to check your hard disk, how much size is there. So hardware devices information will be stored in which folder? In which folder it will be stored? In slash dev. So slash bin. So slash bin contain what? The commands which can be, so we don't have to create, it will be created by default, these folders. And in each and every folder, these specific things will be stored in all flavors of Linux. So this will be created by default by the vendors. Just we need to know in which directory which information is stored, so that we can operate the Linux operating system easily. So slash bin contain what? The commands which can be executed by any user. Slash boot contain, just now we discussed, Linux kernel, bootable file and bootloader through which it will load the OS. Slash dev contain hardware devices information like our hard disk information. Now slash etc. So slash dev full form is devices. Slash etc is called etc. So etc contain what? The configuration file. So this configuration file contain what? The whatever services you are running, startup services configuration file for services. So in Windows you have right registry, Windows registry. Similar to that in Linux we have etc. Then slash home, I told you, is the home directory for all the user except root. All the users data will be stored, or users information will be stored in the slash home. So slash home is the default home directory of all users. All users data will be stored in a slash home. So in each, for each user, one subdirectory will be created in the slash home with their name. So like I told you, if you are Avinash, Avinash subfolder will be created. I am Sunil, my Sunil folder will be created. If you are Lokesh, Lokesh folder will be created. Then lib contain library files which are required to boot the system. Boot means load the system. Slash media. So slash media is a directory through which we can access removable storage device like CD, our USB. So how we will access it? With the help of the media directory. So remember, in Windows, everything is accessed with the drive letter. In Linux, everything is accessed with the directory. So which directory we will use to access? Suppose in your Linux operating system, somebody is connected the pen drive, USB. And if they ask you, you go and check the what is the data is there in my USB. So where you should go? Media directory. So media directory is used to access the removable storage devices like your USB, CD. Then MNT. MNT is a empty directory which has been created to to access the partition. Suppose if you have created any new partition in Windows, you will access a new partition with drive letter like D, E, F. In Linux with the directory. So they have given one directory, empty directory, MNT, which can be used to access the one new partition. If you want, you can create another directory by yourself and access it. So default one directory they have given, which can be used to access the new partitions. Then there is one more folder with the name called miss. So it is been used to mount the shared directory to the NFS. So NFS is a server through which we can share the data among the Linux to Linux users only. So NFS will support sharing of the files and directory among Linux operating system only. For Linux to Windows, we have Samba server. How to configure, we'll be discussing that. So we have one subfolder with the name MISC, which can be used to mount the share folder of the NFS server through which we can share the data among the Linux client. Then OPT is used to install the third-party applications. So sometime in your OS, in Linux OS, there will be so many application we will get with our OS. But sometime you need some third party application. So you have to download from some third party source like internet. So where it will get installed, our third party application installed will be taken place where in OPT directory, which is called optional. So in the optional directory, the third party software will get installed. But USR, what is the full form of the USR? Unix Unix software resource. Some people will call this as a Unix system resource, or you can call Unix software resource or system resource. Both are correct. So in Windows, whenever we install any application, where it will get installed in program file. So same way, whenever we install any application in Linux, where it will get installed, it will get installed on USR, our inbuilt application, or the applications which we are installing from our Linux operating system. Those will be installed on on USR. If you install some third party application means the application which is not there in your OS. So those third party application will be installed on OPT, the application which you are installing from your OS. So those OS will be installed on USR. Remember this difference. Then we discuss slash root is the home directory of root user. So all root user created data will be stored in slash root. All users created data will be stored in slash home. Remember, yasbin contain the commands which can be used by the root user only. Bin contain commands which can be used by all users. Whereas the whereas the whereas the yasbin contain the commands. It is a subfolder which contain the commands which is given by the vendor or the developer or the manufacturer. So those commands can be used by only one user, that is root. So yasbin contain the list of commands which can be used by root user, not by other users. Okay. So whatever commands present in yasbin cannot be used by other user except root. Root can use any command which whether it is present in the bin or yasbin. So the commands present in bin and yasbins are different. Then SRV called services. So it contains data for the services. So which services are start when we switch on the machine. So those information will be stored in SRV. So SRV contain data for the services. So after some time the services get started. Then temporary files where all the temporary files will be stored. Like in Windows you have temporary files, here also. All the all the users, whatever task they are running, whatever task they are doing, if you are creating something, so that data will be stored where? In slash home. So the user's temporary files can be accessed from where? Temporary folder slash temp. Now last found directory. So the last found directory will be created. The last found directory will be created when we mount the directory to one particular partition. So mouse found directory, when the system get crashes unexpectedly or shut down, some files will be stored here, last found directory. So during the system startup, FS tool, file system checking tool, will check this directory and repair the damaged file. So please note, this directory will appear only when the partition is mounted. Mounted means when we access the partition with some directory, then in that directory one last found directory will be created or it will be appearing. So what the last found directory contain, if somebody asks you in interview, you should say this directory will appear only when we mount to the particular partition with the directory. So in that particular directory, this last found directory will be appearing. So this contain what? File fragments. So whenever our system unexpectedly shut down or due to any reason it got shut down, so the why it got shut down, so some fragments will be created that will be stored in this directory. So when we start the system and repair it by using the FCK tool, this will be repaired the and it will restore it. So whatever problem occurred, that will be reported with the repaired with the FCK tool. File system repairing will repair with that file system check. So it will check and repair it. So the file fragments, why that system got crashed, what was the reason, those will be stored in the lost found direct. Then the next one is proc. So this data is stored in this directory, will not be saved on the hard disk, but it will be saved in the memory. Memory means your RAM. So it mainly saves the kernel, processor, external devices, and network status. So proc is the data where it contains the information about the system kernel, processor, and external device status and network status. So here the proc will not use the space of the hard disk, it will use the memory, hard disk memory. Sorry, hard disk, not hard disk space, but it uses the memory of the RAM. Then sys contain what? Similar to like uh, similar to like sysproc, and here it mainly stores what? The information related to the kernel. Kernel is the most important thing. So the information related to the kernel will be stored where? In sys. Whereas in the proc it contains the information of kernel and some other process as well as external direct. And whenever your user login and they do their activities, for each and every user the logs files will be created. Where it will be stored? In the slash var. Slash var, which is called variable, contain variable information, log files, all these things. So this is about the overall structure of the Linux file system. So with this, we'll stop the session here. So tomorrow we'll continue with what? How to install the Linux OS. So with this, we have done with today's session. I hope you understood the session. So those who understood the session, you can leave for today. And those who have any doubts or any questions, you can ask me now.
Sir, are we going to get recording? Sir?
Yes, all of you, did you understood this today's session?
Yes, sir. Sir, I wanted to ask that.
Yes. Have you understood the today's session, everyone?
Yes, sir, I understood.
Okay, so sir,
See, the
mm,
recorded
how?
sessions will be sent to you. You can
Okay,
contact our people, or it is also available on our YouTube. So you can go to that and you can see it. Yes,
okay,
you will be getting the recording. Everyday recording sessions will be there. So
okay.
once you made the
Just
payment, you will be getting the recording on your account directly on your Google Drive. It will be sent.
Okay.
Yes.
okay.
So
After
if
the
anybody
payment,
have any doubt, please you can unmute your mic and tell to me.
so we'll be getting everyday lecture.
Yes, every day. So now this
Okay, after the payment.
first few days demos, it is available
Hmm.
in even in our YouTube channel. You can get from there, and everyday video recording will be sent to you. Once you make the payment, every day on your Google Drive, it will be updated after the session few hours.
Okay.
Or still, if this today is the third day, so you want all the
Hmm.
recordings of the up to now, you can just contact our people. Our number will be there on our site. You just contact any number, they'll respond you and send you. Every day you'll be getting. And once you make the payment on your Google Drive, every day the recordings will be sent to you.
And the notes as well. The people,
That
the
that that
what?
I'll be sending. That is my responsibility. Recording will be sent from our team.
Okay.
Yes. Any other doubt? Any other person? Please tell me.
Manisha ma'am
So
is
did you
in
understand
group.
that? Yes.
Manisha ma'am is in organizer group.
Yes, I think. So you can contact her or any other. Manisha, I don't know about that group. No, she may be not from. She may be like us, one like you, some other person. So you know our
Okay.
numbers on our website. It is there. You contact 3 4 numbers are there. You contact anybody.
Okay. Thank you, sir.
Okay. Is there any questions related with the subject or anything? Yes, please. I'll be not sending. Our team will be sending you. You please contact. If you go to our website, you will find the numbers. You contact any number, they'll send. Yes. Anybody else? Any other question? Yes, please. You can unmute your mic. Yes, everyday recordings will be sent to you. Now our person has joined. If you have any Durga Soft online, you can see. If you have any issues, you can tell to them. They have given their number on the website also. As per the recording of the session, every day it will be available. So you can contact them, they will be sending. I'll be not sending. Everyday recording, they will be sent. Yes, apart from that, any other questions, any other doubt, please? Can you tell me, anyone? Any issues, or did you understood today's session or not? Yes, anyone is there? Okay. So do you have any questions? Anybody? Or can I close this session?
Sir, when will the actual session start? Like after the payment from tomorrow or from today it
No.
started?
No, see, actually, we are not
Hmm.
doing like this payment if you do the actual session is started. So this
Hmm.
already the session is started from Monday
Okay.
onwards. So if we start the
Okay.
subject, this is subject is already started. So it is
Okay.
not that we are hiding. So like you
Hmm.
should know all the basic thing. If you so we are coming from the first, what is Linux? Then uh, what are the topics we are going to cover? Yes, on Monday I started what is Linux, the structure. Again, yesterday some people joined, so I repeated the yesterday session, day before yesterday session, and also given the topic. Now today I continue with the file system structure. Tomorrow we'll install it. So regular classes this is. But if you make the payment, we'll be knowing how many people will be joining. So it's already the sessions will be running. So please make the payment so that you'll be getting everyday recording sessions as well as the other related things.
Okay. Thank you, sir.
Yes, anybody else? So tomorrow we'll see how to install the OS and how to operate it, because if you directly do the installation and start working, you will not understand. So we design this course in a such a way that everybody can understand, and the depth of we are covering 1 month. So even after completing this course, you can claim even 2 to 3 years experience. So that much deep we are teaching. So we'll start from the scratch and we'll go to the all the roles. So I gave you yesterday what are the topics we are going to discuss.
Sir, how can you get the knowledge of VMware and ESIC?
So for that, I
Is it
told you, no, you you have to have the good knowledge about at least one operating system, either Windows or Linux. Then you can
okay?
work with the VMware. Directly, if you
Okay.
go
So,
there, separate course will
mhm.
be there. So that will be also, I think, 1 month. So it is better
Okay.
you attend the demo also that. But if you have any of the operating system, because it works on the operating system, either Linux or Windows, then you can understand easily.
So, is it meaning Durgasoft? This particular Durgasoft solution is teaching VMware and ESIC.
I I I think they are teaching you. For
Okay.
confirmation, you can just contact our front office. Our numbers will be given.
Yes. Okay. Okay. Thank you, sir.
Okay. Okay. Is there any other question or any other thing anybody want to ask, or can I close the session?
Okay, sir. Thank you, sir.
Okay. So I'm closing the session. Yes, Prashant, Avinash, Kotesh, Manisha. Is there any questions you have from your end?
Sir, hi sir.
This is Prashant.
Hi. Yes, tell.
Sir, can you please share me the notes? Course content, sir.
Course content. I
Actually,
have not
uh,
received in separately. I have kept it
okay,
in the file. So see here, I have given you this content yesterday also. If you go with the yesterday recording, so here the complete
okay,
detail I have given. So this course is divided
okay,
into two parts: system based, standalone.
okay,
These are the topics: installation, basic commands, disk management, booting process, run level, user administration. Even in our site, it is there, the total content. So these are the topics
okay.
we are going to discuss through this course.
Yesterday,
Yes.
I have some network issue. That's why I'm not able to join.
Hmm.
Uh, yeah, recorded videos in YouTube. Your link. Can you share me the link, sir?
Yes, it will be
YouTube.
there. So you can just otherwise contact. See here, our person has joined us, Durga. So they will be guiding you. They will be helping you with
Okay,
everyday sessions record. I think our
okay,
numbers is also there. You can contact. Otherwise, she
okay,
will help you.
okay,
So you know our number, no?
okay, sir.
You can contact her. She will
No, sir.
send you.
Oh,
So, madam, are you there? You can just tell your numbers on which they can contact. Okay. One of the number I'll give you. Just a minute, Prashant.
okay, sir.
Just wait a minute. I'm writing it on the chat. That is 921. I'm writing it. 9246 21 21
9246.
40. I'm writing it on the chat. Don't worry.
Okay,
So this is the number you can see now. So you can contact her.
okay,
She will be sending you the detail of everyday recording, where it will be available and how you can access it.
okay, sir. Thank you, sir.
Okay. Is there any other buddy, any questions, any doubt, anybody else?
How many days course, sir? Total course?
So this is roughly about 30 days,
30 days.
30 to 35 days. If it
Okay,
is required, we'll extend. 30 means after 30 days also. So it is fixed between
okay,
30 to 35 days,
okay, sir.
including Sundays, not excluding. Sundays, there will be no sessions.
Okay.
Yes.
So, how many days a week?
I said between 30 to 35 days.
No, no. How many days a week will be getting
I
taught?
told you, no, except Sunday, Monday to
Okay,
Sunday.
okay. Thank you. Thank you.
Yes. Can I? Yes. So can I close the session or any other queries?
Hello?
Okay, closing the session.
Sir, sir.
Yes.
After 30 days, we got the certification, admin course certification, Linux certification,
They will give.
admin.
You just contact our people. All this information they will give you. I
Okay,
given
sir.
you the number, no? I given you this number. You
Hmm.
can contact. She will
Okay,
guide.
okay, okay.
Okay, I'm closing this session. Thank you, everybody. See you tomorrow. टाइम है ना अभी जाना